Jarvis, analysis. What are the two things I love the absolute most in this game? That's right, custom characters and especially custom animations, baby. Now, the one thing that I've been talking about for absolute months, maybe even close to a year now on this channel, is just how much I adore how much you can change a character with custom animations. I really think that it has to become a norm whenever you're developing a character. Like, look at this. Surge's classic run from the IDW comics, which is basically just the classic Sonic run, right? But I think that's pretty cool too, because Surge's design is based off of a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 glitch, which is from the classic Genesis era anyway. Now, the cool thing about this mod is she doesn't just have a running animation, she has a few different animations. Not everything is reanimated, but she has some pretty cool ones here. So if I go over yonder here, she has a completely original battle stance where she's got her sharp, toothy grin. She's overconfident. She's got her arms to her sides, her fists all splayed out and everything. And it transitions into her classic run so well. Wow, perfect scenery for this. It's like she's dodging all the bullets. She's also got a custom air boost where she opens her mouth with extreme adrenaline. She pops her fist out, and I love that she even has the correct rings on each of the fingers as well. And yeah, she just shoots her body outwards like this, almost like she's ready to punch something. It's pretty sick. Now, if the game looks very shiny today, that's because I'm also using the Graphics Enhancement V2 mod. So it makes all of the glowy parts of the islands even more illuminated. Like, look at this, look at the dash pads. They're glowing. The backs of the springs are glowing and everything too. It's a treat, man. And of course, Oranos Island here is completely bathed in purple. You can see all the reflections coming off the bottom of this crystallized part of the cave. You can especially notice it with the cyberspace portals, where they have all these individual blue lines that light up and everything. And I think there's actually extra stars in the sky. It looks like there's so much more detail around where that emerald beacon is. So many beautiful mods came out for the Sonic Hacking Contest this year, and I can only play so many. Man, it's just so cool the way that all the level design assets are so much more noticeable, especially at night, the way that they can glow wherever, including like something as simple as the dash rings. Now, as you've noticed, her jump ball has an electricity trail behind it. And it's really cool because you can see the trail whether or not you're drop dashing, spin dashing, or just regular jumping. And it's so cool too because it's such a thin trail where you can just see the electric sparks come off. It kind of looks like static electricity instead of her just going full force with her electrical powers. And speaking of going full force, we can actually do something very special with the combination of other mods. Wow, this is really pretty. Look at that purple reflection coming off the water. This really gives you an impending sense of doom in the final part of the game. Now, if you want a little bit more electricity to add to your arsenal, the Wild Rush Boost mod has you covered. This takes the effect from the Wild Rush ability, as you might infer, but now you also just have the ability to smash through everything with all the power in the world. This looks like the perfect electrical aura that you would expect for Surge. Wow, those stars look great in the sky as she was going down the actual rail there. Gotta get a classic kill with just the jump ball, don't need to be too extra fancy. And another thing that you may have noticed is that I'm using Ryuko's voice from Kill la Kill to emulate the perfect Surge voice, because obviously we don't know what Surge's official voice would sound like, but I think it's pretty easy to insinuate what it would be, right? And thankfully, there was another character mod out there that had the Ryuko's voices already plastered over every action that Sonic does. So, you know, I just carefully borrowed it from that mod, and yeah, so thank you to... You will be credited in the description below if anybody wants to check out that original mod as well. Wow, dude. Graphics enhancement is incredible. There's like natural blurring in the distance for the cliffs and everything, and obviously there's the extra stars in the sky like I pointed out, and there's the glowing clouds. Now, specifically the thing that caught my attention with this Surge mod is that every other Surge mod I've seen for other mainline Sonic games, they've been reusing the Sonic Forces Speed Battle model, which there's nothing wrong with it, it's just really low poly. And I don't know if this mod was directly reusing that model or not, but it looks like all they really did was upscale some of the polygons and add actual Frontier-style textures to her. Like, you can see it in the fur, you can see it in the clothes, in the gloves especially, and everything like that. And yeah, now she actually looks like an official AAA Sega model, instead of just the low poly mobile model, which is actually, funny enough, exactly what my Knuckles the Dread mod is. It's just taken directly from the mobile model, and I didn't make any enhancements to it at all, which is why I appreciate stuff like this all the more. And you know what else? It's so sick going into photo mode and zooming in on her. It's a little difficult to see her, but like this aura of like the motion lines coming out of the electricity followed by her movement, like especially going like up this slope, and then you got this really sharp curve, and then all of the force from the electricity is coming from her at the end of it all. It's just such a sick sight, man. And the cool thing about her, too, is that she is canonically a clone of Sonic, a doppelganger, so it makes complete sense that her moveset would be... Oh, she says alley-oop when she does the wall jump. That's a really fitting voice line. Oh my god. So it's really fitting that Surge would play nearly exactly like him, with just a few more electrical abilities. See, like, that ability fits her so much more than it fits Sonic, I would say. Let's amuse Surge, and let's get her into some action, huh? Ah, I love that voice line. It's just so angry and over the top, man. Like, chill out. It's just a tower. It's not that difficult. There we go. Damn, dude, look at that sunrise with the Surge's accurate comic book run. This game was made specifically for me. Oh my god. And she looks fantastic in the 2D perspective as well. Recognizing the design of your character no matter where you are is super important for a platformer, in my opinion. It's awesome how well that trail works behind her to completely guide your eyes as to where she's going. It puts her motion into perspective so well, the way that you can see the exact trail of where she's going. Oh, that's so sick with the trail of water from the rain pitter-pattering behind her actual electricity. Oh wow, everything is so bright and pretty in this mod too. Ooh, I really screw with that. I also love that when you stomp, she has a green aura as opposed to, you know, Sonic's blue aura when he stomps. Oh wow, a spare Chaos Emerald. Yeah, better not actually let Surge put that in her hands anytime soon. You saw the overpowered arc where she had the dynamo cage. Oh, that being said, let's let her run loose. Yep, I still have the damage on boost mod. Man, she cuts herself off, it's so funny. That's awesome too, like all of her, even her hurt lines feel so in tune with something that she would actually say. Now one thing that I love is that her loop kick actually uses her air dash animation, because that's part of the loop kick, that's how it works. But the fact that this is a custom animation almost makes it look like she has custom battle animations too, which again changes the entire feel of how these characters work. God, you know she'd be so full of herself to actually stand up in front of a Master Ninja Plus that's towering over her and hit a stance like that, right? She would see the size difference and the only thing that would go through her head is, nah, I'd win. I've said it time and again, definitely the reason that I like Sonic so much is because of the depth of the narratives and the character exploration in the comic books, And I've always had a lot of respect for the original comic book characters as well. You know, back in the RG days we had Scourge, and nowadays in the IDW we have Surge. And I especially appreciate what they do with IDW because from the beginning, it wasn't necessarily meant to be canon, but they tried their hardest to fit it in line with how the actual video games are, similar to how the post-reboot Archie days were. Every character was made with the intention that they could fit into a video game without somebody batting their eyes, and I think Surge and Kit do a great job at that. Surge is definitely my favorite of the two. She has such a good design. It's great, and you know, ever since Hardlight gave her that full 3D render for Sonic Forces and Sonic Dash, it's just been fueling my brain. I'm like, oh wow, can we please see her in a game? I mean, even in Frontiers, Sonic verbally mentions Tangle, so I feel like it's just a matter of time, really. I'd love to see a Frontiers ninja-styled boss fight where you're just out in an open arena and you're throwing hands with Surge. She's not as big as someone like Ninja, which I think makes it cooler that you're fighting someone that's on your own size. I think there's just something really cool about characters fighting other characters instead of just fighting giant mechs. It has some of that Dragon Ball energy, you know? And as we saw here today, there's so many like cool electrical effects and voice lines she has that make her stand apart from Sonic. It's like every action she does is so aggressive, whereas Sonic, you know, he has power, but he's a lot more chill. I genuinely felt like I was playing a different character despite it being the same exact moveset, and I guess that's kind of how it is with Shadow Generations, because yeah, he has his Doom powers, but at the end of the day, it's the same exact moveset as Sonic, but everybody knows that it's a different character, even in just the gameplay feel. Every mod from today is down below, go check it out. They went above and beyond for this Surge mod. You do have to add the voices yourself, and you do have to go and separately get the Wild Rush boost if you want the full, kind of immersive experience. And if you're new here, please consider checking out my Sonic modding playlist. I cover Generations, Frontiers, Adventure, you name it, buddy. And I'll be covering a whole lot of Shadow Generations when that comes out. And the level that you see right now will have its own video tomorrow.